Good day to our fellow participants in this year's virtual conference. We are here to present our research entitled Driven to Drive, the relationship between the demographic characteristics and motivation of Filipino cycling enthusiasts during the COVID-19 pandemic. We are a group of researchers coming from the University of Santo Tomas in Manila, the Philippines.
The COVID-19 pandemic and its accompanying quarantine regulations has drastically disrupted our usual way of living. Due to the strict lockdowns and curfews that were implemented by governments, individuals were unable to go out of their houses to engage in their usual sports and physical activities. As sport practitioners, we all know how important physical activity is. A physically active lifestyle reduces all-cause mortality and it helps fight chronic diseases such as hypertension, diabetes, and cancer. And it also facilitates a healthy cognitive and psychosocial function, Brown et al. 2011. Some engaged in home exercises, but some were really aching for activities that are done outdoors such as walking, running, and swimming. One activity that the researchers saw a significant increase in terms of participation was cycling. With this in mind, the researchers would want to know why out of all the available choices for outdoor activities, quite a number of individuals chose cycling. The diagram on the slide shows the theoretical framework from which this study is based, the theory of planned behavior, or TPB, which was developed by Ajzen in 1985. It is broken down into three parts, which are A person's attitude towards behavior, B, subjective norms which show how others in the society influence a person's intention and behavior, and C, a person's perceived behavioral control. The figure shows the research paradigm of the study. It identifies the independent variables, namely age, gender, frequency of cycling, and region of residence, and its hypothesized relationship with the dependent variables in the study, which are motivation and its 8 subscales.
The study aims to investigate the motivation of individuals in their engagement in cycling during the implementation of different classification of quarantine brought about by the COVID-19 pandemic. Specifically, it seeks to answer the following questions. Number 1, what are the demographic profiles of the participant in terms of A, age, B, gender, C, frequency of engagement in cycling in terms of number of days in a week, D, place of residence, and CR in Calabarzon. Number 2, what are the participants' level of motivation in their engagement in cycling? Number 3, what are the participants' level of motivation in their engagement in cycling based on the subscales of mastery, physical condition, psychological condition, affiliation, appearance, enjoyment, competition, ego, others' expectation. Number 4, is there a significant relationship between the participants' demographic characteristics and their levels of motivation, global and specific subscales? This study utilized a descriptive correlational research design and used the purposive sampling technique to gather respondents. A total of 202 cycling enthusiasts serve as the respondents with ages ranging from 16 to 65 years old. They were residing either in Calabarzon or the NCR and started cycling as a leisure activity only during the COVID-19 pandemic. Aside from the demographic information sheet, the researchers administered the physical activity and leisure motivational scale, or PALMS, by Morris Rogers Moore, 2008. It is a 40-item standardized questionnaire that measures the motives of individuals for participating in physical activity and leisure.
Table 1 shows the distribution of respondents in terms of age. Majority of the respondents belong to the 18 to 24 age group. Older individuals, especially those with comorbidities, showed lesser participation and opted stay at home because of the government regulations to their population and the higher risk that they have to the serious effects of COVID-19. Table 2 shows the distribution of the respondents in terms of gender. The male respondents are 159 in number, which amounts to 79% of the sample. This result is similar to what Hitch and Southwest 2012 mentioned in their article that the gender gap in cycling is not new, and the multiple peer-reviewed research proved that men are more likely to participate in cycling, whether for recreation or for transport. Table 3 shows the distribution of the respondents in terms of region of residence. 57% of the participants are from Region 4A or Calabarzon, while 43% are from National Capital Region or NCR. There are 16,771 cycling routes in Calabarzon, while 11,616 cycling routes in the NCR, Inquirer 2020. This can affect overall participation in cycling. Table 4 shows that majority of the participants responded that they can cycle twice in a week with 24.8%, followed by thrice a week with 23.8%. This result may be attributed to the fact that the respondents are in the age range wherein they are engaged in online classes or in their jobs on most days of the week, thereby limiting the days that they can engage in cycling.
Table 5 reports the mean of respondents' level of motivation as they engage in cycling. The mean is at 3.93, and this corresponds to a verbal interpretation of motivated. The motives of participation in cycling may be due to several reasons, such as an attraction to an event, due to expectation, the recreational element, satisfaction, enjoyment, and the pleasure gained when taking part in an event. Alexandris et al. 2011. On Table 6, the researchers also determined the median for each items in the palms. The rating of 5, which stands for strongly agree, is the median of 17 items, 42.5%, while the rating of 4, which stands for agree, is the median of 13 items, 32.5%. However, considering the responses across the participants and items, the overall median is 4, which stands for agree. Table 7 presents the average PALM scores across the different motivational subscales, ranked from highest to lowest. Enjoyment and physical condition recorded the highest average PALM score with the means of 23.22 and 23.19 respectively. From this data, it can be said that the major reasons that the respondents engage in cycling are the positive emotions that they experience while doing the activity. Cycling can also help lower the levels of obesity in already obese individuals, reduce the incidence of many diseases such as cancer and other cardiovascular diseases, and positively impact mental health. Hansen and Nielsen 2014.
Table 10 shows that age has a weak negative relationship with the motivation subscales, affiliation, and competition or ego. This can mean that the reasons for older individuals' engagement in cycling are not highly influenced by the desire to be affiliated with other people or to experience that sense of belonging. Older adults may be more interested in comparing themselves with their past levels of performance rather than in competing with others. Ikpeze et al. 2018. Table 12 below shows the frequency of engagement in cycling and its correlated variables: motivation, others' expectations, and competition or ego. Engaging in cycling on a regular and more frequent basis can eventually turn into a habit. The more that an individual engages in cycling, there is a higher chance that he or she can improve on it. With that improvement in the activity, the expectations placed on the individual coming from others can also increase. Also, cycling is a great way to socialize. One can meet up with friends for a bike ride or make some new ones by joining clubs or events. Atkins 2016.
Table 16 shows gender in its list of associated variables, which are motivation, mastery, others' expectations, affiliation, and competition or ego, with their corresponding ETA coefficient test statistic and degree of association. One major difference in sporting performance separating one cyclist from another is gender, According to Perry 2017, testosterone level is another important point of difference. Males' bike trips outperform that of the females 2-1, and many of these are seriously competitive. Loco Cycles 2017. Among the motivations of Filipino cycling enthusiasts, only the mastery sub-skill of motivation indicates a significant association with region of residence. This can be primarily explained by the principle of proximity. The bike lanes and the routes and scenic spots frequented by the cyclists are found in the regions of residence of our respondents, which are NCR and Calabarzon. One popular route and go-to bike place is the Marilac Twisties or Marilac Highway Santos 2018. The highway offers great views, fresh air, and places to eat. Cyclists also tend to ride their bikes on this road that provides uphills and downhills to practice and hone their skills. Carlo et al. 2020.
Based on the findings presented, the following recommendations are suggested. Number one, for the cycling enthusiasts, the researchers suggest that they should continue engaging in their chosen leisure activity because of the benefits that it can provide, such as psychological conditioning, physical conditioning, affiliation, improvement in their appearance, and mastery, among others. It is also recommended that they form organizations and clubs so that these may organize events such as competitions and solidarity rides that can promote cycling to a larger population. For the concerned government agencies like the Department of Health, Department of Transportation, Metro Manila Development Authority, and educational institutions, the researchers suggest that they initiate the creation of more bike lanes also in other areas in the country. This bike lane should be safe and accompanied by areas where bikes can be parked. Other government agencies can also use their budget to produce videos and other materials that can educate the public about the benefits of cycling. Economic managers can also conceptualize schemes that can make the purchase of bicycles less expensive for the people. For educational institutions, it is suggested that they promote the use of bikes in their campuses, a possible inclusion in the physical education curriculum, and its addition in collegiate tournaments. For the sports industry, to encourage them to produce products that are being used commonly by cyclists, such as helmets, apparel, bike parts, and accessories. Different tournaments can be organized with the hope that we can produce a Philippine cycling team that can compete in prestigious international tournaments. And finally, for future researchers, to encourage them to do more research on this topic and explore other avenues of inquiry such as modifications in the sampling, adding additional variables like socioeconomic status, grit, risk-taking behavior, and using locally made instruments. This can be a very, very good addition and very, very good contribution to the development of research on this topic. That would be all. We thank you again for your attention, and we are excited to hear your questions and comments. Good day again to everyone.